One thing that you won't hear from financial gurus and a lot of the motivational people out there that are saying, oh, you can make $100 in your first 2 days by doing this. One thing that you won't hear from them is that building a real business takes time.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey, what's up all of you beautiful subscribers? So we have a lot to do today. The first thing we got to do is actually set up a new studio, and the second thing, which is probably more important, is that if you guys saw my last vlog, you guys know I'm setting up a t-shirt company, and so I did the first heat transfer in my last video, which turned out good, but I need to cut out the designs better. And so for that, we're going to be using a cutting machine, and this new stuff came in called heat transfer vinyl paper. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that actually, but first we need to set up this studio. So what this is actually a backdrop. So I'm gonna be setting up a backdrop and showing you guys how to do that, but it's pretty much if you want a more professional looking just vlog of me talking to the camera like you see on Valuetainment, or like what I used to do back in the day at my old office, I had a backdrop. So that's what we are going to be setting up today. So I think this is it from Canadian Studio. So what was actually in that box were two studio lights. That was not the backdrop. Backdrop is actually in there. So these are two studio lights. As you guys can see here, each one of these stands will actually hold 4 lights. That's really important because one light usually isn't enough to light up an already bright room like this. But yeah, so those are 2 studio lights. Now we got to put up the backdrop and we got to set up the lights. Let's keep this going. So this must be the backdrop. It is from Neewer. Neewer? How do you pronounce that? How do you guys pronounce that? Let me know in the comments. Neewer? I'm just gonna say Neewer. Screw it. All right, we're gonna set this up. Hopefully this won't be too big for this room because it's a giant, giant backdrop. You know, one thing I've noticed from ordering on Amazon is the lack of instruction manuals. These are pretty big things here. Some lights and a big giant backdrop. No instructions. I mean, it's not like I would read them anyways, but it's nice to have. So it would appear actually that one of the legs here on one of the stands got stuck. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to fix that. It looks like it's legitimately stuck right in there and they built this wrong. So I might actually have to return this, which would really, really suck. But we're gonna try and figure this out for a few minutes. Hopefully I can put this together properly. There we go, we popped the leg out. All right, let's keep setting this up. As you guys can see here, the stand is up, but it's not done. We actually have to take off that bar, raise it up, and then put on the backdrop. And the backdrop that I'm using is actually, it's just paper. It's a similar background to remember those high school year-end photos they have to take, or even elementary school? You have to sit behind a stupid background. It's like black with just like white clouds in the background, or blue, or with white clouds, whatever it is. That's the kind of stupid background we're gonna have here, except it's just gonna be plain black. You guys will see. So this giant thing here will be our stupid high school yearbook background that we're gonna be using to shoot some of my like whiteboard videos and some of me just vlogging in front of a camera, and I just wanna have, just a plain background. So this is it. It's just gonna be plain black. Man, this thing's giant. Oh yeah, if you guys want something similar, it is available at savageuniversal.com. Again, we don't sell these on Joisk quite yet because you can't even get these on Amazon actually. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, you can't get them on Amazon because they're too big to ship. There are certain items that you cannot get through Amazon. Just period. They won't ship it because they are giant. I mean, look at it. This thing's like 10 feet long. But again, if you want one of these, Savage Universal, that's where I get it from, and it is just a plain paper background. Oh no, looks like we ran into a little bit of a problem here. So originally, I only wanted to use 3 of these 4 bars to hold the backdrop, but it would appear that the backdrop paper is about 8 inches or so too long to be held by 3 bars. We're gonna put on all 4. So we're gonna be getting the full width of this, 11-foot backdrop or something like that. Now luckily, the room that I'm in is probably 14 to 15 feet long, so I got plenty of space. Got a decent sized office in this lovely home I have here. But anyways, it's gonna take up a lot of room. Hopefully it'll work. So this is what the backdrop is kind of gonna look like. Now I'm obviously gonna do a different camera angle, so it's only the backdrop. But yeah, so I forgot one thing here. So What's supposed to happen here is, so this backdrop is actually about 30 feet long. If it were to keep rolling, it would be about 30 feet long. And so what's supposed to happen is that once this part gets damaged, you cut it off, roll down the next 8 to 10 feet. But you're actually supposed to buy clips with it. So you're supposed to clip the top part so that it just doesn't keep rolling down into infinity. And I forgot to buy those clips because I am stupid and forget things. So we're gonna roll this back up here. Hopefully it doesn't roll down at any time in the next couple days. But this is what the backdrop is gonna look like. And it actually fits. So this looks good. I'm happy with it. So something I want to touch on real quick here was this, because it's been bothering me, is that you hear from a lot of financial people online, a lot of financial gurus, a lot of motivational people online, and they always say something like, you can make $100 online a day by just doing this real quick, real fast. And you know what? That really bothers me, because building a real business, building a real brand takes time. It is really rare in the business world where you get a business like Jet. I think it's called Jet.com. It has a nice purple branding, where within its first 2 years it becomes $1 billion company and sells to Walmart. That does not happen. I mean, think about Amazon. Think about this. You know how long it took to actually launch Amazon? Do you know how long it took? It took about 2 years to actually build a decent site. All right, it took about actually 1.5 years or so, 1 year to 2 years to actually build the crappy first version of Amazon. So that's a year or two where Jeff Bezos and his partners at the time were making no money, zero money, just trying to build something up. Even look at some of the other tech ones, like think about Google. That took years and years and years before it actually made a revenue producing product. And it's not just tech companies. I mean, think of a big company like a clothing brand like Nike. I mean, Nike was a company, I think it was founded in the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken, by Phil Knight. And they were struggling along until about 1984 when they finally got Michael Jordan to hop on board and start making the Air Jordan shoes, right? So that's 13 years to actually build a brand. Now here's why I've been thinking about this, is because specifically for me to actually build Joisk. I mean, here's a question I want you to ask yourselves, all of you out there. Okay, if you had an opportunity to make $100,000 or more in 1 year, and it's consistent and it's stable and you had room for growth, maybe you make you had room, a potential cap of several $100,000 to make over the next 5 years per year. Would you rather have that at a stable, consistent income, or would you take a risk? Would you take a shot at actually building an actual scalable business? That's what I wanted to do. And I pretty much gave up a year of my life, a year of making lots of money. Now I'm still making okay money. I'm still making good money, but nowhere near as much as I was, just to take a shot at building a real scalable business. So ask yourselves, would you be willing to do that as well? All right, if putting together a giant backdrop was not enough, we're gonna try and put these lights together now, and then maybe we can get to some more t-shirts and businessy kind of stuff. I just quickly want to show you guys what a lot of people that have studios or just YouTube setups, what they light their studios with. Now, sometimes it's just with a light or a basic Walmart light or a ring light. A lot of the times people use stuff like light boxes. That's what this is. So it's pretty much just a stand. You got a light stand here. You got this silver plastic covering. You have you have a light socket for 4 light bulbs. I don't know what to call that. And then you actually have this white covering, and that's all this is. So you just got 4 lights, this, a stand, and you got to put this covering right on here. I just want to say quickly is that I'm actually going to put on the light bulbs, and if you're making your own YouTube studio, people don't really realize that there's different types of lighting for light bulbs. So usually the ones for your house, ones that produce that kind of yellow warm light, those are actually what you shouldn't be using for studios. Those have a color temperature of 2000 to 2700 K. Okay, and what you're looking for is, if you want a bright white studio lighting, what you actually want is color lighting that is about 5000 K. So that's daylight, that's what they call it. And so a lot of the times when you're setting up a studio for the first time and everything looks good, you have this good lighting kit here, then you put in the light bulbs, then you put on the camera, it's like, oh, this isn't what other YouTubers look like. This isn't what, it looks really yellow and a little warm. So that's why you gotta actually have 5K light bulbs. These are actually from Amazon too. It's funny that Amazon and YouTube / Google are kind of funding my business right now, which is kind of funny to think, or not funding, but I guess helping me. helping me build my own business right now, which is kind of cool. But again, that's how they make money. They help other like, what do you think Google is, by the way? Google is not a search engine. You know, I mean, it is, but it is an advertising platform for businesses. Google, in my opinion, is the greatest ad platform in the world. Now, people will say Instagram's better, Facebook's better. Facebook knows more about your basic information. That's true. But however, Google knows what you're looking for. Google, you don't type into Facebook, I want to go, or, buying a video game for sale, right? Buying a video game locally, right? Buying a light box locally. You don't type that into Facebook. You type that into Google and Amazon. And so they are very much, well, Amazon is a giant platform, but Google, again, it's an advertising platform. It's not really a search engine for the most part. Okay, so we have these 4 lights installed here. I'm going to try and flip them on. I think it's plugged in. Here's what it looks like. There we go. All those lights are on. Whoa, that is really bright. See, I got really dark because the camera adapts, but this is what a light box looks like. When you have 4 of them, it is very, very bright, especially when you look at it. So it's doing its job. That's great. So we're going to set the other one up, and I think we're going to move on to the t-shirt stuff. But first I want to actually, finish this up, and then we'll move on. Alright, so it would appear that we actually have a change of plans for what we're going to be doing for the rest of the day, actually. So initially I was going to show you guys the t-shirt cutting machine and then testing it out and then seeing if it works. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. I have a change of plans. I'm going to be coding for most of the rest of the night, actually. So I'd like to give a shout out quickly, actually, to Demo Maker MC on Twitter, who tweeted me pretty much, they spotted a problem with Joisk, a functional problem, which was if you had a French name or you wanted to type something in like French, or I've seen this a ton actually on my own, people from like Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and even China and Japan and Korea, if you were to go and type in letters that were not essentially Latin characters, it would just not really work too well with the site. Sometimes it would work in the search engine I saw, but if you're registering anything or posting a product or anything like that, it's tough, and it did not register. Yeah, so that was a functional problem that was spotted. So why was that a problem? Actually, I guess I'm trying to vlog all of my thoughts for building this business. Why was that an actual problem? Well, it was because when I coded this initially, I was just planning on launching the testing part of the site largely in Canada and the United States. I know we have Quebec and there's French letters in there, but I was initially only planning on Canada, United States, and Britain, I guess for the most part, the UK, which are all Latin lettering. I was not expecting to get so much traffic. I was not expecting to sell so much stuff. I was not expecting people to be all over the world to sign up and look and search and all this stuff. And so, yeah, so that's why that happened. So I know how to fix that. I can switch it over. I'm going to code it. Hopefully I'll have a patch up by the weekend. But again, this was something that by the way, one other thing too was that initially in the first 2 weeks of Joisk, all I wanted to do was just sell a few things. We ended up selling a ton of stuff, and I was doing some ads and testing, and I was getting some sales through the Google AdWords and some Facebook stuff. And the thing was, though, is that was taking up so much of my time, and the site was not done, that I actually shut off ads over the past week or two because I could not, the site's not done. I want to get it done, and then I can care about the rest of that stuff. And so right now, I'm just trying to finish up coding this and having a version 1 done so that I can actually start really, really building this thing. So I think I ran into a little bit of a problem here, which I think I found a solution of, but it's going to delay the launch of this business by about 2 days probably. The heat transfer, as you guys saw before, the heat transfer onto the shirt is really good for stuff like logos. And as long as you cut out the logo, it's really simple. But for stuff like letters and words, which is going to be a lot of my t-shirt designs, that was going to be a little bit of a problem because the really 2 things I could do was either, essentially just cut out the whole word and have like a really crappy white background on the shirt, which I didn't want, or Or I'd have to cut out the letters individually, which would either take time, but then putting those letters on the shirt and making them all line up, a lot of the times that might not work and it might actually ruin the shirt. So have a different solution. It's gonna take 2 days and I'll update you guys. I will be getting this thing called vinyl paper, and it's really good for lettering in single color things like just words and plain text and stuff, and you just put it on the shirt, and it's really simple, but you can't really do it for colorful things like logos. So if for a complex kind of design where it's a logo and some lettering, I'm gonna probably need to do a 2-step process to put that on the shirt. And I'll show you guys what that's like when the vinyl stuff comes in. I'll update you guys on that. But for now, again, just updating you guys, this is another problem when launching the business. I don't want to have that white background on the shirt, and I want to have everything cut out properly before I put it on. And that's going to take 2 different kinds of paper to do that. So right now I want to show you guys essentially a giant clothing update I have for the site Joisk. And again, this is part of building the business. I'm going to have a big update, and let's just jump right into what that update is. Okay, so what you're looking at here is actually the live seller portal for Joisk. So this account isn't hooked up yet or anything, but pretty much it's just a very basic layout here. All you can really do is create a listing, and if you have posted something, then you can interact with all this other stuff here, apart from seller frequently asked questions. But again, this is what it looks like right now. So here is an offline update. So essentially when you're coding a site, you have to have an offline site so that you're not working on a live server, and if you mess up, the whole site crashes. So you pretty much have to test online or test offline and then upload it online when you're ready. Okay, so here's the offline version. So the big difference here is this create a design thing. I might call it something different, but I might call create a t-shirt or something. So, but for now it's create a design. We click on that. So this is this script took me about a day or so to do. Again, I obviously just see a spelling mistake here, so again, another mistake I have to fix. But pretty much what you can do is you can interact here. Right now, obviously we only have 2 different colors, but pretty much you pick white or blue or both, it's up to you. Now you go in here, you pick whatever you want to upload, an image of some sort. Let's pick a PNG, the Chimp Life one. Great, looks good. So let's see if it looks good on blue. Blue, it looks good. On white, looks good as well. So we're gonna have both. We're gonna have this logo available on both white and blue. Okay, Caroline blue. It's gonna be Carolina. But anyways, okay, we're gonna just title it. Just call it T-shirt. Let's do this quick. T-shirt keywords. Let's just say Chimp Life. Okay, T-shirt description. It's a description. Great. So the price here. So the price, I might change this. I'm not quite sure yet. But for now, because we are fulfilling it, we're gonna put the base minimum price at $19.99, and anything above that. So for example, if it's anything above that, so if it's $24.99, your take-home profit will be $5. So literally any cent above $19.99 is just yours, and you don't have to handle the shirt, you don't have to handle anything. It's literally, you just upload your design, you upload a saying, something like that, boom, upload it, and you're good. And when it sells, you get paid. You just get paid and you don't really have to do anything. All right, so here you go. We're gonna hopefully click create a shirt, and hopefully it'll work on the first go. Not quite sure. Hopefully it does. Might take a minute because it is a pretty beefy script on the back end here. Great. Okay, so your shirt is now under review. So usually it'll get approved within 24 hours or disapproved if you put a giant penis on your shirt or something and want to sell it to kids. Like, obviously that's not allowed, so that'll get disapproved. But yeah, so right now has just some information here. Obviously no sales. I didn't put the condition here, so that's another thing I have to fix. Product condition, I have to put that as new. International shipping, obviously I will be shipping this. Joisk will be shipping it, so international shipping is yes, we ship all over the place. Quantity, whatever, I might have to change that down from 10,000. I'm not quite sure yet. But anyways, yeah, so this, that went through, it worked on the first go. So now we're going to check out what it looks like. We're going to assume that the product got approved. So this is actually the live version of Joisk right now. Everything's very stressed out. There's a lot of white space, which I do want to fill up with more stuff, with more products in the future, more pictures as well. But this is what it looks like right now. So here's the problem. Here's what I had to fix, was that, let's say there is, someone makes these exact socks, but in different colors. Well, if you were to go onto Amazon, you would see that there's like a bunch of different pictures here, a bunch of different options with the same type of socks, just different colors. Same thing with like headphones, same thing with everything. So I tried to fix that. So now for t-shirts and stuff, this is what it looks like. So now you have the blue, and if you want to see what it looks like in white, you just click white, boom. Like that, it's instantly. instantly works. So again, I'm gonna make it look a little bit nicer. Going in, I'll have options and stuff here, and obviously this is also, this Mac is very, very, very big. So this is about, what, twice the width of a normal Mac, of a laptop, so usually the screen would look a lot thinner and less white space. But again, this is the update here, is that now you can go in and choose the options, and theoretically the more shirts we have and the more you know, different types of products, this will get filled up a lot more and look a lot better. But that's the update. This is the t-shirt update, and I fixed a lot of other little bugs too that don't have to do with the t-shirt stuff. But again, this is I'm just showing you guys what it's like to do. Oh, I forgot one thing. You know what I forgot? It's a really basic one. Sizes. Okay. So I am going to have to code that right now, and before I update the site, I'm going to have to do sizes. So again, this is all part of the learning curve. Is yeah, obviously I might want to put in another picture here too at the back. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, sizes. So again, we have large and medium sizes right now, and this right now is, we don't even really know. I didn't even code that in. That's a big mistake on my end. And this is why you you gotta practice. And this is this is actually kind of a really good example of a business messing up. So far I've messed up on a few things. Like, let's rewind back. Let's rewind back from the very beginning. Like the lettering. The lettering, I'm gonna need a different type of paper for lettering versus different type of paper for the logo. I did not know that. I thought that the logo could go on straight onto a white shirt and the background wouldn't show up, but that's not true. So that's a mistake there. I've made a mistake on some of the coding stuff, on some of the misspellings, and obviously I messed up on the sizes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that right now. Hopefully, I don't think that'll take too long. Hopefully that'll only take like 5 minutes or so, but I mean, it might actually 5 minutes. It might take about half an hour to an hour. I'll update you, I'll code that right now, and hopefully I'll have an update for you guys very, very shortly. Okay, it's about an hour and 20 minutes later or so, so I had to go back and redo the size stuff from essentially the input, from the time you make the shirt, all the way up until essentially the product page here. But yeah, all the sizing stuff is done, so now, you know, it's nice. I don't know what color to make this. I don't know. I just like light blue. I might change it. I don't know. But sizes, drops down, medium, boom, medium pops up. I also added so people know the size and the title. So whatever your title is, that's going to be up here, but they will also get the color, and they will also get the size in the title as well, because I thought that that was important. So anyways, yeah, there we go. That's it. Large, medium, that's it. So that is the big update. I think it's done for the most part here. So I have it all done from top to bottom, and seller payments and everything, from customization. Now I'm obviously going to add stuff to this. I want to add it so that you can place your logo. So maybe you could place up something here at the bottom right and then something here at the top. Also, or you could just place this like wherever you want it. I might also do some stuff for the back of the shirt, but that is that'll be a different update. For now, I have the basic, essentially t-shirt customization and fulfillment tool done. So what does this mean? It means that I can start potentially selling this as soon as the new paper comes in and I test it out. But it is done. This is kind of a basic t-shirt website. Now obviously there's some related products here. I might try to scrap this, I'm not quite sure, but some, in terms of just having different sizes of the same shirt, I might scrap that. I'm not sure yet, but for now this is what it looks like. And yeah, it's done top to bottom. So I think that I'll probably update you guys next when I implement this onto Joisk for the first time, or when I finally get the vinyl paper. And you know what? I'm not going to update you guys when I implement this, because I'm probably going to do that right now, and there's no need for you to see that, because I would let you, see the code and some weird stuff. So I'm not going to let you do that, but I will, after I update the site and I get the paper, I will update you guys on how well this works. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a second.